Hello, 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 hello. How's it going today? Guess I can move this up just a bit. So what's going on, y'all? So we did some hands last week. I am going to jump back into these hands again just to finish off. And if anyone has questions and stuff like that, and I will probably go in a little detailed on one hand, left or right, whatever. So yeah. Last week I showed you guys some of these books here that I have. I thought I had a page mark in here, but this book is a good book, but again, it's a little more detailed than what I'd like to go off as far as an artist, if you will. Like if you just want to learn hands and want to be better at them, yes, this is a good book, but not just right off the rip. I think this is just a little far advanced with all the muscles and all that stuff like that. So this book, however, is a lot better. It breaks stuff down. Even in here, I was kind of breaking down how I looked at the hand and all that good stuff. I think there was another one. Yeah, right here. And so I think we'll do just a little more of that. So I'll do this one real quick, kind of like the breakdown and stuff. I like that hand. And so yeah, I'll draw this one, really take my time and go over stuff again. So let's get this set up here so I could show you guys what's going on. We'll zoom in a little bit. And since I'm gonna do this one, kind of go over again real quick how I break it down. So we have the palm shape, right? So that's one. The finger shape. That's two. Thumb shape also is two. And then I put the wrist on there. And then three is to flesh it all out. Hey, what's up, Shell? Super excited to show G. I seen it before you took it down. So if we trying to get this situated here, and I'm gonna draw with a black pencil or pen, so y'all can see it as I'm doing it. But I'm drawing this hand and break it down just the way I was saying. So I'll draw the shape of the palm. I'll just add the wrist and all that stuff on there. And I'll draw the shape of the fingers. And then the thumb. And so as you can see, it's pretty much done, right? I got the shape here. This could probably be a little wider, but I'm not too concerned. And so I got this shape, which is one. kind of went ahead myself here just a bit, but I'll start over here. And so this is 1. The fingers are actually 2. Thumb is 2. And then we flesh it out for 3. Yeah, I'm excited too. I can't wait to see it. Because I think we should be able to start adding the bride next to, just depending on how soon or how quickly the next session goes. Because his face is going to require a little bit of detail. I am putting in the finger shape, and now the rest is just to flesh it out. That's 3. 3 is the flesh out. And because I have these shapes already, you know, it kind of cuts down on the guesswork of where fingers and hands and the rest of the joints and all that stuff should go, because you kind of blocked everything out. And I think that's the main thing I want people to understand, is just blocking out your hands. And honestly, like I said before, whatever it is, just block it out, you know. And you can see the little tip on that other finger coming up over like that. And there you have it. Hands. And so now I'm going to draw this one here with my blue pencil, and I'll stick around with this one for a minute to really do some, you know, on this and adding all the little details and stuff like that. But if anyone has any questions, I think it's just me and you right now, Shell. How you been? So right now I'm just drawing the palm part, which is right here. And now I'm looking at the fingers and what shape they make. So they come up a little bit. So this is a little more challenging of a hand, because it has, the fingers are all cocked and I wouldn't say weird looking, but it just got some good movement happening, right? And so what I'm doing is that I'm making mental reference points. So if I look at this muscle, and we talk about this muscle a lot because I use that a lot. I also use this muscle a lot as reference points. And so if I draw an imaginary line over here, I know the knuckle is somewhere even with that. And then this finger is even with all that. So if I take my picture and draw a line over here, I know that this knuckle should be here and the tip of that finger should be somewhere around there. It don't have to match up exactly because I think it's not fully on the right line, but it's very close. Been doing well, keeping busy. New team. Ah, new team. Gotta break them in, huh? Then I'll just add the wrist on here. And so for the most part, you can see I have the overall shape of that hand right here, right? And this will help you when you're, trying to put a character in like a superhero pose, or he's got energy coming out of his fingers and hands and all that stuff. Blocking in will help a lot with that. So block in, block in, block in. It's not red, man. I'm gonna just write this, maybe. Block in, block in. When I say block in, I mean block in shapes. Very important to do that process. Let's see, give me a little more lead out here. And so now I'm happy with where things are for the most part. I'll just start adding a little bit of detail and shaping some stuff out, right? And already this is a little too long. So because it's blocked in and it's still not permanent, I can move stuff around. This finger could come back some. So if you look here, it was here at first, right? If I move this line back, I need to move this line back about the same distance. So I'll just move it back some. Make sure I get that knuckle happening right there. The other knuckle, and then that tip of the finger. And now I'm just fleshing out because I'm happy with how far this is back. Yep. Then now I'm just kind of looking at the shapes again, making sure I got everything in the general vicinity, right? So now I'm looking at this right here, like how much distance that is from there and how the thumb, comes off of it. And you can see where I'm making just slight adjustments, right? So I had this block down here at first, but it's actually over here a little bit, and that's okay. You know, you can make those little adjustments and keep it moving. Now just fleshing in, fleshing in. Adding a little more pressure to the pencil so I can pick which line I need for it to be. Come out this way a little bit. And also I'm looking at the width or the girth of these fingers, and I need them all to be the same. Just fleshing out, fleshing out. All right, I think I am pretty happy with where this hand is going. For the most part, I think I'm doing something here. And so now I could start adding like the shadows and all that stuff in here. And then I'll just go light. It's all dark under here. Except for that part. Why we keep listening to the same song, bro?
The best way to improve your videos is music from Epidemic Sound. The safest music subscription for content creators with over 35,000 tracks and 90,000.
And so you can see here where I started adding like the knuckles and the contour curves of it. Because what we want to do is sell that the hand is, the fingers are round.
We've been using Artlist, a royalty-free music licensing platform that helped us produce a lot of content fast. With the unlimited license, I download as much of the high-quality music and sound effects that we need, and with the useful category filters, I can easily find what I'm looking for. So, if you need royalty-free, you need Artlist.
Fleshing out, y'all, fleshing out this stuff. feel like this probably could have been a little shorter. Like the distance from here to here, but I think I can get away with it. Or if that's the case, I can probably bring this in some too, right? Just to shorten the distance here. Yeah. And again, you see where I'm making these adjustments, right? So this was too long, so I shrinked it a little bit. And because I shrunk it this way, I needed to move the wrist down some too, because looking at the reference, right here is where the wrist started. So if I push this in, I gotta pull this stuff in too. And I'm looking at the distance from here of how much I pulled this line down. I need to pull that same line down. I can't keep it because it's too wide. So this line is wrong. This line is wrong. Well, it's not wrong. It's just I don't need those lines anymore. I need to shift that stuff around. And this is dark up under here. And it's all about, you know, making adjustments and making it work for you. And making it proportionate to the body and all that stuff. So that's why I typically don't draw dark right away. Especially if it's for like a client or something, and I know I'm gonna have to move some stuff around and actually erase. So if I was drawing this for somebody, I'd have to erase those lines. So I don't want to go in too hard right away and then destroy the paper by trying to erase these really heavy lines. So draw really light at first, block in everything, and then especially if you're doing a client, block in everything and then take a break. Take like it could be anywhere from 30-minute break to a whole day. Just take a break, come back and look at it with some fresh eyes to make sure that stuff is falling in the right place. And then you can go back in with some really hard lines and all that stuff. Because you don't want to send your client like really raggedy paper that you was erasing on and all that stuff. So So I think I sent out an email. So I think next week I will start on feet. And honestly, it's pretty much the same thing, right? Blocking out. Feet are a lot easier because they don't do all this. I mean, you can get your feet to do some, some people do draw and write and pick up things with their feet, but they're not as, what's the word I'm looking for? Not flexible, but you can't do what you can with your hands. Y'all know what I'm saying. But for the most part, it's the same method. Like I said, for me, the blocking in is the same method for everything. Whether it's a face, you can use the old oval shape thing for the face and then put the lines in. If someone's got a blockhead, like a serious blockhead, you can use the block method. And then it's down here, he's got a really big forehead. If he's a villain, most villains' heads are pointy, if you will. Everything is pointy on a villain, or it should be anyway. That's kind of what we learned in school. When you look at like Disney villains, Jafar, Scar, all those guys, there's a shape to them. And the good guys are always round, right? Gives a soft feeling. It's not really sharp edges. So, but again, it's shapes. You're just shaping out, blocking in. But we'll get to that in some other series that's coming up. And I obviously chose to do hands and feet first because most artists have an issue drawing these. And I figure, heck, let's get the hard stuff out the way. The more you do this, the easier it becomes. I am first-hand witness to that. You gotta practice. And I'm just fleshing out at this point, right? So I started off with, and we can move that over. But I started with 1, just the palm. Then 2, I added on the finger shapes. And then 3 was the flesh out. And I've done the same thing here. I started with my palm shape. And you can still see my lines in here. I've adjusted some stuff, and then here's the hand, the finger shape, and then the thumb shape. And like for anyone that's trying to get in the industry, a lot of tests are going to be on drawing hands and feet. If you want to do children's books, they're going to ask you to sit there and draw hands and feet. Like I'm not going to say anybody, but if you're an artist and you're really serious about it and trying to get somewhere, for the most part, most people can draw, characters and superheroes or whatever industry you're trying to get in, whether it's comics, children books, animation. I'm telling you, it's them hands and feet that they are looking for. And if you can't do it and you don't practice, somebody else is practicing. Now, if you're doing your own business and you can fudge some of the hands and all that stuff, then, and you making a decent living, who am I to tell you something, right? But if you want to work for like Marvel, Pixar, Disney, Blizzard, DC, all them people gonna ask you to do is your tests to get in. If you make it that far, they're gonna ask you to draw hands. I think Jim Lee, they told him right off the rip when he was first starting, practice your hands, bro, and get back at us. I watched a really good documentary. This was years ago, and I think I still got it somewhere. It was Todd McFarlane, and he was wanting to get into the industry. And they told him something similar, right? It was like, hey, you need to practice more or whatever. So he took that to heart, and he practiced every part of the body. I think he said for like 30, 60 days a piece. So 30 days, a couple months, he done nothing but hands, left hands at that. The next 30 days, he done nothing but right hands, then all heads, all chest, legs, feet, blah, blah, blah. And he had to do it. That's what you do when you want to get in and do something. If you want to get better at it, you have to practice. I think for me, I had aspirations of being a comic artist and all that stuff. But honestly, once I figured out that they had to draw everything, like as a comic book artist, you gotta know perspective and just, you have to draw everything. You gotta draw, if you're doing a room scene, right? You gotta know perspective, how the walls are cornered and they start flaring out, and you gotta draw all that little stuff in there. And man, I was just like, nah, I'm good. And not that I can't draw it, I just don't want to do that stuff. But when it's done right, oh my goodness, it brings the scene to life. Because you look at a lot of beginning comic artists and stuff, and you could see the background lacking, or you can see something else lacking, and they just need to work on that stuff, right? But then you look at a well-seasoned artist and he's doing all that background stuff, ridiculous. There's an Asian dude, I can't remember his name, Key or something like that, but he draws on these like really long sheets of paper, and has that stuff in memory. It's phenomenal. I can't remember the dude's name. I'll try and post it on Patreon or something. Some of y'all may know who I'm talking about, but sheesh. But that's the stuff I'm talking about, right? That dude, one, to have that locked in your memory, all that little gears and everything he puts in his pictures is insane to me, but he had to draw that. You have to know how to draw all that stuff. I think at this point, I'm cool with tattooing and knowing just enough.
You started a podcast in the morning, and you're going to finish it when you're afternoon walk. Stay in the loop, even when you're offline. Try YouTube Premium on us.
And I think that's it. And that's a hand, right? Here's the one I used as reference, and here's the one I drew. Yes, that's him. Kim Jung-Yi. Greg Capullo took 2 years off too. Yeah, man. I mean, hey, what's up, Farrah? Them dudes, man, like, you just have to do it. Like, there is no, oh, I'm gonna draw a little bit tonight and then, you know, come back 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later, like, hey, I was in a slump. And I get it, we all get in slumps and we all have issues and stuff like that, but it's just something that has to click. And I'm not discouraging anyone, I don't want y'all to think that, but it just, something has to click, and it has to be like, I have to draw every day in order to get to the next level or get to Marvel or get wherever you're trying to get to. You just have to be like, yep, let's do it. I know I feel shitty. I know I don't feel good. Now, you know, some personal stuff is going on, whether, you know, something just really mental you can't deal with or family stuff. I get it, you know, yes, take that time or whatever, but if it's just, you know, my stomach don't feel good, man, go take a dump and then come back and draw. Cause that dude, that Kim Jung-Yi, for all those out there that ain't seen that dude's stuff, now granted, even he makes me want to just break my pencils and throw them all away, but I mean, it's, I look at stuff like that and it's just, to me, very inspirational, even if I'm not doing what they're doing. I just know I can get better at what my craft is. So look at other people's stuff. Don't be afraid to copy stuff. If you copy, give the credit to the other artist, whoever's it is. But get better, man. And now we can kind of start adding on just, I wouldn't say silly stuff, just anything, right? So we know the hand is curved like that, right? And then we know the fingers are curved. All this stuff is like little cylinders, if you will. Now you can add, like, if they got a tattoo or something, right? Some letters or something. Or like there's some aliens or something. We know the contour, so now make your letters or whatever else go in that same contouring motion, right? Because for me, I'm gonna zoom in some. For me, I don't do a lot of this. This is not normal for me. My hands would just be almost like this, and I'd be done. But if you're doing a close-up of a hand, or like Michelle, I'm doing her tattoo, I'm doing a really close-up, so it has to be detailed, right? But let's say this was like a cyborg and he had some type of print or letter on his hand. To sell this, to make sure that people know the hand is like round, like that. So like even if you look here, you know, this is actually a straight line, but here you can see where it's curved just a little bit, right? And so that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm selling that there is, that the hand is round. And so you don't need to have a lot of detail, like all the little shading and wrinkles and stuff. You can get away with this by adding another element to your picture. Let's put maybe a 0 or something. And just by curving that line just a little bit, I'm selling the viewer that that hand is round.
YouTube Premium removes interruptions from your video recipe. Start a free trial now.
You know, without adding the shadows and all that stuff around there. I'm selling that, hey, he's got a number 10 on his hand. If I was to just draw these lines straight, it would look weird. It wouldn't show that this is a three-dimensional object. And that's what we're trying to sell viewers looking at your work. And then with this, like if we wanted to, I don't know, even take it another step further, right? We can make the fingernails kind of long and like something's happening with the fingernails. Right, you can just add, you can just add on. Once you know the rules and you practice enough, you can do whatever you want to do then. You know, they always say once you know the rules, you can break them. So now I can add these nasty looking nails. And then we could bring his fingers down, or her fingers down a little bit, right? I'm gonna zoom in some. And then they could be faded from here too, right? Like they've been digging for blood or something. Or just dirty, they're nasty. And obviously I would have thought this through versus me trying to add on to it now. But I'm just trying to show that you can, you know, add on to stuff once you understand what's happening with shapes and all that. And we could do the same with this one. And then so on and so forth, right? Do the same thing here. This one will probably be a little hard because I already blocked everything out. But it would be the same. You would add, you know. So you could do two things. You can add more nails and erase all this. Or you can just, like, this nail is broke off. Like, you know, just add, like, some broken bits of a nail that used to be there. So now we got, you know, some long nails, a broken one. Obviously this one we can really dig into and make it look all nasty or whatever. Now that finger may pose a problem again because we didn't think this through, but I didn't think I'd be making nasty nails, but yeah, I would literally erase that, but since I'm not going to erase it, I will try my best to make it look like this was on purpose. And now that's just me figuring some stuff out here. You know, adding shadows and all that stuff to sell like that wasn't supposed to be there. Thumb obviously has a nail, and it's just a really janky one. But we can get away with it pretty good here. So now we got a creepy hand. We went from regular person hand to creepy hand in less than what, 5-10 minutes. So yeah, man, I think that's it for hands. Anybody got any questions or whatever, ask away or just email me. To all my Patreons, email me, because I think I got one email, but I want to get y'all my ebook in your hand, How to Draw Hands and Feet. And yeah, man, just practice, 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 and more practice. Next week we will be doing feet. It'll be the same thing. We'll break it down into bite-sized chunks, easy to swallow. And yeah, just go practice some hands. You know what I'm saying? Do maybe 20 right, 20 left, and that's the only way you're gonna get better. And when you do, share them with me. I want to see what you're doing. See how you feel, if you're making progress. I hope this is helping people. And yeah, I will see y'all next week for part 1 of feet. Thanks for hanging out, y'all.